Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan, two wrongfully detained Americans, are coming home today. We have some major breaking news coming out of Russia and really the United States, where the United States has brokered the largest prisoner swap since the Cold War. Evan Gershkovich is a Wall Street Journal reporter who was wrongfully detained in Moscow last year, over a year ago now, on trumped-up charges of espionage. Paul Whelan, meanwhile, has been detained in Russia for more than 5 years on similar trumped-up espionage charges. Both are Americans who were wrongfully detained, who did nothing wrong, but were merely arrested as part of Vladimir Putin's attempts to swap Americans with Russian prisoners being held in the United States. Now, this is really big news because not many people thought that this could happen. Vladimir Putin has really dug in his heels, especially since the start of his illegal war in Ukraine, and has really refused to negotiate for Paul Whelan. If you recall, President Biden was able to secure the release of Brittany Griner, who is an American basketball player, in exchange for a Russian arms dealer. That exchange occurred last year after Griner served several months being wrongfully detained in Russia. And at the time, Biden's win, that it was called a win, but many people also criticized President Biden, saying that he didn't fight hard enough to get Paul Whelan home, who had been detained in Moscow since the Trump administration. Well, now Paul Whelan is coming home, Evan Gershkovich is coming home, and additional wrongfully detained Americans are also coming home. In exchange, America is going to release a number of Russian criminals. We don't know exactly who they are yet, and as soon as we do, I'll let you know. But from initial reports, it is individuals convicted of cyber crimes and things like that. But this is a historic win. Evan Gershkovich, Paul Whelan, and the other wrongfully detained Americans are going to come home now. They're going to be reunited with their families. And I believe as a result, there will be no more wrongfully detained Americans in Russia right now. I may be wrong on that, but it is a major win for the Biden-Harris administration today. So that's really the big news. Also, according to CBS News, border crossings by unlawful migrants have fallen to the lowest levels since the pandemic. In the month of July, there were 56,000 apprehensions between Border Patrol and unlawful migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border at various points of entry. That number is as low as it was in September 2020, where the number of border crossings, unlawful apprehensions, was 55,000. And this pales in comparison to the 250,000 unlawful migrant crossings that the United States saw in December, which is what prompted President Biden and really prompted congressional leaders across the aisle to call for action at the southern border. And President Biden issued a proclamation, an executive order, where the United States effectively shut down asylum seekers at the border, allowing them to quickly process individuals coming in and either allow them into the country if they are lawfully entering, or to turn them away or even send them back to their home country quickly and efficiently. Now, remember, there was a bipartisan border deal on the table. House Republicans, House Democrats, Senate Republicans, Senate Democrats. Everyone was on board until Donald Trump came in and decided to kill the bill. So as a result, we never actually got bipartisan border legislation across the board, but we did get President Biden's proclamation, which is the primary reason that border crossings have fallen to such a low level now. But that's not all. Last night, Donald Trump held a rally in Pennsylvania, and he really showed off how much he was flailing. First, you had Alina Haba, who got on stage and decided to attack Kamala Harris and her race, essentially, again, kind of like Donald Trump was attacking Kamala Harris's race earlier yesterday at a conference where he said that Kamala Harris just turned black over the years, whatever that is supposed to mean. So this is what Alina Haba said.
I am a strong woman, a mom, a lawyer, and an American. And unlike you, Kamala, I know who my roots are. I know where I come from. And I don't play around with the Constitution.
Now, Donald Trump followed up, getting on stage and He showed how he was aging pretty quickly. He was talking about Dave McCormack, who is the Republican nominee for Senate in Pennsylvania, and consistently confused the fact that he was running for Senate, not governor. Watch the moment.
They're almost as tough as our congressman sitting in the front. They're almost as tough as the man that's going to be your next governor, by the way. He's tough, too. He's tough. He's a great military hero. And he'll come up. I'm allowed to have him up for a little while, right? Just a couple of minutes, right? He's great. He's great. And I hear you doing very well. But you get ready. You get ready. You got to knock him dead. She compared Ice Age.
Overall, a pretty stunning rally after Donald Trump's campaign is in shambles right now. And even Scott Jennings, who is a Republican commentator, said that, quote, Trump crapped the bed yesterday. Watch that moment.
Okay, so what does it mean to turn black? I mean, first of all, it almost sounded like he'd been thinking about this for a long time, and he'd rehearsed it in his head, and then he finally came out with this new line of attack. But why?
I don't know if I agree with that. Look, first of all, I think he deserves some points for showing up at this thing and giving it a go. Where's Kamala Harris today? Not there. But that having been said, he did crap the bed today. The only question is whether he's going to roll around in it or get up and change his sheets.
That's a good.
Overall, between President Biden and Vice President Harris securing the release of wrongfully detained Americans to record low border crossings over the past couple years, and Donald Trump's campaign flailing, it is a crazy news cycle, and I will provide you more updates as we get them in. So be sure to subscribe, like, and comment to be the first to know. Thank you for your support.